Hello, hello.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live with Tanya, a new YouTube podcast. And I am honored to be launching my first interview with amazing Sierra Bender.
Thank you for having me, sister. I
Oh,
am
my.
excited for this.
Oh, my.
You're perfect for this. Look at that
Oh,
mic. You
oh,
look like you're back
right?
in the 50s there or
Oh,
something.
it's a broadcast quality mic, too.
Yeah, you could
Like,
tell.
I got a master's in journalism from Columbia. I used to work for Associated Press. I had to up level. I got the mic,
It fits you perfect. Call
and
it.
you being the first interview is amazing.
Oh, I
So,
feel
so
blessed.
I would just want to let's share a little bit about how we met. We met at the Texas Yoga Conference in Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah, how many years ago was that?
I don't even remember.
15? 20?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
a long time ago. I feel like I'm sitting taller than you. I want to sit at the same height as you. That
Oh, you're
works.
taller or I'm taller?
There we go. Sit up straight. There we go. Then where's the same
Okay.
call? And then they sit there calling right now. And if people jump on, I want you to know I set a real parameter for respectful comments. If someone comes on, I will only bring up, I will share any kind and respectful comments that or questions that may come up along the live. Okay. I'll just share. I want to thank Melissa Smith and Jennifer Burgermeister because they were key in how Sierra Bender and I met each other, and we met at the Sierra and I were both presenters at the Texas Yoga Conference, and we had a connection. We had both lived at Kripalu, and Dr. Jeff Migdow. I sent him a message as well about our live. I sent Lisa a message and Jennifer that we were coming together, and I'm really thankful. And by the way, for people who might watch this link later, I just want to say welcome. And Sierra and I both have the same intention that we want to hold space for you, the listener, to gain the tools to rise to our highest vibration. And I'm going to be more quiet and hold space for my sister here to share. What's calling you, Sierra? Where are you at on your life journey? How did we get to this moment? And please, we're going to talk about the intelligence of her. What's coming out? What's coming out? I'm going to hold back, and I'll have more questions along the way. But
Oh.
all you.
Okay. Well, long story short, a year and a half ago, I had brain surgery that came out of nowhere. And honestly, doctors don't know. It's usually women get it 50 and over. It's called trigeminal. It's like the nerves in your face. And it's considered the most horrific pain in humanity. It's called the suicide disease, but literally it came out of nowhere. And so it kind of gave me a break between COVID and that. What I realized was, as you know, in our careers, of how much trauma we take on from our clients and your own trauma. And my body just kind of flatlined and just said, nope, you need to rest, you need to regroup. And honestly, it felt like with all the ancestral healing and what trauma, what women go through, especially at this age and stage of life, because I'm 60, I just turned 62, was this okay, that's who you used to be through the pain, the trauma, the tribulations of who you are today, but you can't keep staying stuck to that story. And I literally feel like not only the phoenix rising, but the wise woman who truly understands energy, her asset. The number one asset is her time, her energy, her value, with compassion and grace, not so much the angry warrior goddess anymore when we're younger or the woman. That's how I first started my career. Everyone's like, how did you start this? I got so freaking pissed off about what was happening with women in our society that I had to do something about it. I'm past the anger. Like that righteous anger is more like the gur of the woman, the warrior. And now I'm more settled in. Like I did a meditation this morning. It was like I have a steel spine, so connected to spirit, so connected to my body, so connected to Mother Earth. Yet it flows. the fluidity. It always comes back to form. And it was so profound this morning. I was doing this meditation. I was in tears about it. Like, oh my God, I'm finally getting it. And no matter how much work you do on yourself, there's always just something that just says, no, I'm gonna align you a little bit more, even more, with more power, more grace, more strength, more wisdom. And that's where I feel I'm at. I mean, it reminds me of my near death experience. My near death experience when my uterus ruptured was that. It was like, Sierra, you're so out of alignment with who you are. Let me remind you who you really are. And that pain I turned into power. And I'm like, okay, but how much more pain do women have to go through? I always say women unite more in their pain than they do their pleasure. Like
Yeah.
all the
What would
workshops, retreats.
what is the primary tool for a woman to step out of the story of trauma to move forward into that new chapter where they're no longer stuck in the shame, blame, criticism, trauma story? I heard you say that you have moved forward from that younger rage and the passion to this new awakening. So what would you say to men and women? I want to address that we have men and women watching. Anyone jumping on Sierra once in a while, I'm going to definitely honor those
Yeah,
who are.
yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. And I want to stay fluid with the interview, but I want to acknowledge that I see you, we see you, and thank you for jumping on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and you're welcome to pose questions. I'll later in the interview, but I do want to acknowledge that you're jumping on with us live, and we have so much wisdom we can gain from Sierra. So we're going to keep flowing. So for any man or women, and I know so much of your work is about women, but I also want to include that anything that we talk about for women, men are facing the same things within
Oh,
themselves.
absolutely,
How do
absolutely.
we all shift to higher emotional intelligence? How do we all move from the story of trauma to awakening, right?
Right. I mean, my method, my four body fit empowerment method, that was clinically researched with Harvard Law School and American University, which I did way back in 2010, was based on my method. They couldn't understand how somebody could heal from trauma so quickly within 12 hours.
That's it. We don't need 20 years of therapy.
No, you don't.
Exactly. No, we can pull out of trauma
No.
immediately. Yeah, talk about
Therapy
that.
is
Talk
therapy.
about that.
Therapy does not work. Let me, I shouldn't say that.
And I want to honor therapists and the process
Yes,
they're
let me
going.
rewind that because I've trained many therapists.
Yeah, yeah.
Therapy is great for awareness. It's great to have the conversation, especially for men. Like I always say, men have no one to speak to. So therapy is not about what's wrong with you. Therapy is just go and get it out. You have to get the emotions out. You have to talk about it. But you can't stay stuck in it because that's where the pain comes, is telling the same story, telling the same thing over and over. And the more you talk about the same story over and over again, the more it just creates even more pain. You feel
And
like
it
your
pushes the
mind is in a
trauma. It
maze.
every time we repeat the trauma, it pushes it into the cellular level.
Exactly. It's a
So what I'm
reminder.
hoping today can also be, because it's showing itself, is some tools to pull out of story, because the ego and the mind for most people listening want us stuck in that trauma. So we have to
Yeah,
become very
familiar.
conscious, right? We have to become very conscious to be able to pull out of the story that no longer serves us.
Correct. Because the story is what made you survive, right? So the survival part is the warrior part of us. Maybe we were children, we didn't have the tools, we swallowed our emotions, we didn't have the capacity, the emotional intelligence. Well, even back then, you didn't talk about all this stuff. Now it's so open. Everyone is so open now to express emotions, but you've got to be able to work with them and be able to have control. And when I say control, you have to be able to channel them in the right direction. Where is this going? How do I not create more harm? You don't want to just emotionally throw up. And that's what our country has become. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I want to say, you're emotionally throwing up. And it's like there's no channel for this energy to be used properly, which one of my measurements was righteous anger. I have the right to be angry. Okay, fine. But what are you going to do about it? Don't swallow it. That's depression and anxiety for women. So I help women focus through the board breaking, through the archery, through the haws, through the movement, you have to move emotion,
Yeah,
especially for
yeah.
women.
Please, I'm going to jump in because I want everyone to know what it was you did with this goddess warrior work. I had Sierra presented at my Yoga Roundup festival. I had the first Yoga Roundup festival in the state of Oregon, and Sierra worked with women for and still does, and she'll be talking about her shift to the intelligence of her. But I want to talk about that those breakthroughs and the work you did with your goddess warrior work. Please share some about that.
Well, it came from my near death experience when my uterus ruptured. I bled to death on Christmas Eve. I mean, the story is that you can't make this shit up, as I say, the
And
synchronicities.
I don't want you to stay stuck in story and trauma today. So
No, no, but I go, who's that now?
but exactly, and it was that trauma that forged you forward, and that we
Yeah.
and that we that's where we have to address trauma, is that the trauma is the gift
The gift is
to
the
launch
pain. You got
us.
to turn the pain into the power, and that's where you will find the gift. But if you're not willing to go walk into the fire,
Woo!
and that's what I helped women do, would be the catalyst to help them walk through the fire to transform it. That's the true transformation. And
That's
then how do I use this to the best of my ability so that I can help not only myself, but others? And through the story, because the story is important, right? But I literally have to go, was that me? Wow, I was a badass, but I was also a bitch. Or you know what? I was totally like I own it. Like, because your ego doesn't see it at the moment in time. And I think that's for me. I know, I feel that's for me right now, the wisdom that I've learned now, fast forwarding when I look back and reflect at my life and go, oh, got it. Okay, got it. So I didn't understand. I had to cut off my femininity in order to survive. So it was easier for me to be in the warrior. So I understood the warrior. I could tap into women's anger and help them channel it because I was always a semi-professional athlete. I always used my body. So that's what I was good at, was like, okay, don't be all over the place with this anger. Learn how to focus this anger as if you're an athlete. I want you to do 20 reps of this, 50 reps of this. I want you to do this. I want, so that you're using your body as the vessel instead of your mind getting in the way, blocking you. And that's what works for women because we're feelers and we have to allow emotion to move to us and through us. And that's actually what the term goddess means, is a woman who has the ability to channel the light of God to her and through her emotions. She doesn't, she knows how to transform emotions. It's not good or bad. It's just energy. Okay, but what am I going to do with it? And that is the true definition of the word goddess. But the word goddess became, woman on a shampoo bottle. People think of Greek mythology. That's not what the term word actually means. And it has the word God in it. Hello. So she is the vessel of holding love and then learning how to move it to her and through her. And love is fierce. It's not just compassionate. But if that love turns into rage and anger, that's not what love is. That's the ego trying to convince you, oh, that's what, no, it's not. That's not what love is. Am I making sense? So how do you feel about that? Like, from doing all this work too, it's like, give yourself permission to get angry because that is setting a boundary, which is self love. But what you do with that to the next level of your higher consciousness is transforming it, not staying stuck in it. So you give that emotion permission and you validate it because it wants to tell you its story, but then you have to be able to move it, move it, move it, flow with it. And that's the hardest thing that women have never been taught. They've been taught to shut it down, turn it off, their intuition, their instincts, anxiety, depression. We have the highest rate of health issues in women, horrific today. And I'm like, this is why it's showing up, because we haven't been taught how to deal with our emotions, the intelligence of our emotions. And that's what I help women have always done. And laugh. You got to laugh. You got to laugh and have humor about things, because sometimes the stupid things that we do and how we hurt ourselves or how we play victim, I hate to say this, but victim actually means to sacrifice, how we have to own our own shit.
And you and I talked about this. I took the road trip and drove to see Sierra. She's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm in Pendleton, Oregon. Hi, I just want to take a pause and say welcome. Thank you for being with us. Um, but I know that you and I talked about, and I work with clients, and you work with clients, that pulling out of this victim story, to get out the new canvas, design the story that's going to call your soul. You know what, we are responsible for changing our own lives, and if something is not working, we need to pull out of the story that isn't working, design the action steps, and move forward and paint the new canvas, right?
Yeah,
Like, I won't even work with clients anymore unless they are ready to step out of the story that no longer serves them. Can you talk a little bit about flipping the script,
sure.
designing the forward life? Like, how do people step out of trauma and let's move forward, let's celebrate and laugh and design the life that's going
Sure.
to bring, peace.
Exactly. Thanks for asking that brilliant question. Because what does trauma actually mean? So for me, the definition of trauma in all of my work, because that's what I specialize in, anytime you went out of your body in an uncomfortable situation. That could be an overbearing parent telling you what to do, la 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 in your ear. Okay, I shut down. I have to shut down in order to survive because it's overstimulating, right? Bad birthing experience. The first time you had sex and it wasn't great, maybe it hurt or it was uncomfortable, or the worst scenario would be sexual assault and abuse, which I come from as a child. And then how you constantly the inflicting pain, thinking that that's normal, right? That's trauma. Okay, how about a car accident? How about, you were in alignment with a certain path, like an athlete all your life, you practice, you did everything, and then all of a sudden at one game, you break your knee goes out. You break your ankle and you're just like devastated that the trauma of like, I had my whole life set and now it's gone. It's gone. Everything is gone. That was the same thing with me with my uterus rupture. In one split second, my whole life changed. Okay,
Yep.
but what is that trauma is when it took, and you know this from pranayama, breath. It took your breath away in that moment where you swallowed that pain, and now the brain titles it as an emotion, fear, and now it takes over the nervous system, right? Because you got to think, okay, it took my breath away. Your nostrils is the closest thing to your brain. So the fight or
Oh,
flight response sits in the back of the
yeah.
neck. So it's stored. Okay, so now it's stored, and the ego says, I don't want to ever go back there again. And it has to make up a story because the body remembers it, right? But the mind makes it seem 10,000 times worse than it actually is. So that's certain situations of trauma. It depends, on what that is. So when I work with clients, I have to understand the story and I can pinpoint and then help them erase it. And how do you erase it? For me, this is what makes my method so successful is wherever you're holding stress is where you're holding that trauma. That's where your body is conditioned to handle trauma and hold that trauma. And so if it's in the back of your neck, the burdens, not speaking your truth, whatever it may be, it's stuck and it wants to tell you its story, but you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen to the truth of the story. You kind of like the victimization of the
There
story.
it is. Right. The truth, the lesson,
The
because
truth of
everything
the
is a lesson.
story.
We're here to learn. Exactly. The pain, the trauma, all of it is for the lesson to awaken. We go through the pain so we can grow. I do want to jump in that greetings, goddess Sierra, Heidi Feather here saying
Oh,
hi.
Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Heidi knows she's done the work. Heidi knows too. She's a teacher. So a lot of women who've gone through my courses actually became certified and became teachers.
And nice to meet you, Heidi. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for joining
So,
us.
but you helped me tremendously after my Tanya came and visited me, which was wild because I haven't seen her in so long. And
We had a
I
great
was
time.
I was in a very painful place. Like It's so hard to do your own work sometimes. Like, I'm so aware. I'm so aware what my work is. I'm so aware, that's where you procrastinate a little bit because you don't want to go there, as they
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
When you don't want to go on the mat, that's when you need to get on the
Oh, I'll
mat.
hold the mirror up and do the deeper hole. There's always another layer, right?
And I prayed for it because I was in such pain between what was going on in my personal life. My father was murdered. I went through that. I'm like, God, if you want to take me out, just take me out. I've been there. Okay. So it's a beautiful place, but for you to torture me or whatever's going on right now, yeah, no, this is not working for me. So I prayed and I believe in the power of prayer. So here Tanya shows up and Tanya's like, come on, girl, we're going to do some work on you. Right. And she broke me down. No one has ever broken me down besides myself. But between you and Jeff, Dr. Jeff McDowell is the co-author of my book, Got Us to the Core. I feel safe enough. I felt safe enough to do it because that's really that's really the biggest issue is feeling safe enough. The person that you're working with that you can just give it all away. You just totally surrender. And you're not surrendering to me or Tanya.
And that
You're
safety, I want to jump in.
surrendering.
Yeah, surrendering. And it was such an honor to work with Sierra. It was yoga therapy and intuitive energy work and just primal following intuition,
Primal.
permission to release at the cellular level. We are holding on to so much in this. People just hold on. Like, there was a movie back in the 70s or 80s, and everyone in New York City opened the windows and were yelling out of the windows. Like, people are holding on to so much. We all just need to, like, and even now, Sierra, with these fires, I want to acknowledge right now, we have fires all over Spokane, Washington last night. Like, these fires, what is Mother Earth telling us? Like, we're talking about the life lessons, right? In our own trauma, like, what is Mother Earth telling us? We have floods and fires, Paris, France, Portugal, Greece. Here in Oregon, I have friends evacuated, sleeping at a campground. What is the message that we're getting about transformation,
Well,
which will
she's
lead us
right.
into, which will lead
Yes.
us into you talking about intelligence of her? What is happening? Like, what's going on, right?
Well, you have to think of it's such a reflection of what's going on with women, sexual assault and abuse, rape, all the things that are going on. Well, that's a reflection of what we've done to Mother Earth. We don't respect her. We don't have gratitude for her overall, not all, but every person has to have that in their daily life. You don't just take from her, you ask. You don't just dig a hole into the ground saying, I'm going to build a home. You ask permission before you break ground. You do offerings to her, thanking her because you don't own the land, you don't own her. And so everything what's going on right now in our world is such a reflection of what's going on with Mother Earth because she's pissed
Oh,
off and she's out of balance and she's toxic. She's going through an emotional throw up right now.
yeah.
She's detoxing from all of what we have done to our own bodies, our own selves, our own society, our own world. And she's just a reflection of it right now. Like, okay, you people aren't in tune with your emotions. It's either really angry or it's on the opposite direction that you have no idea what you're saying or what you're doing. You're just throwing it out there, flowing, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like the
We
faucet's
need to
not turned off.
recalibrate. We need to recalibrate. And
We
and
need
and
balance.
and I want to jump in because that dovetails to a comment that Heidi Feather just made about you and your work. And we're talking about this important piece of balance and healing. May I share what she wrote here? I want you to know Heidi says, Goddess led me to help people cross over.
Mm,
I hold space for them and their families.
that's beautiful.
Want you to know that that's what Heidi Feather, right as you're talking about Mother Earth, that you helped a woman gain the tools to help people as they're passing. So I wanted to acknowledge the timing of that. And then yeah.
Monica. Hi, Monica.
Oh, good. You're seeing the comments too. Is this Monica a friend of yours?
No, I
Hi,
don't.
Monica. You're our new friend now.
Monica. So
And
yeah,
Sierra, I'll just pay attention to when people are respectful. Sometimes there may be trolls or scammers who jump on, and I will handle that. I will just be bringing up the comments that are positive, and I give no energy to those who are
sure,
toxic who come
sure.
online. And what I say to trolls who come on, because I just saw a comment was withheld, I put on strict regulations because I hold a parameter of safety for lives, and I want people to feel safe in this live. So, for anyone who does come on and want to make a toxic comment, you're showing yourself. Everyone sees your name. You're not hurting us. Sierra and I just watched, but you're showing your lower emotional intelligence. So,
As they
let's talk
say,
about
not my.
right. So,
I don't
there's a
know I
message.
swear on here. I think I swore already, but that's the
No,
Jersey
no,
girl in
we'll,
me
we'll be
and
kind.
ale.
We'll work on our kind of, because sometimes I have students watching. Hey, any students watching later? Hello
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the city. Our intention is to provide tools for all of us to move through trauma, to move forward. And I'd love to dovetail. And the reason I brought that up because I see there was a message held for review, which tells me we had a troll trying to make a negative comment. And what people don't realize when they make negative comments is they're showing themselves. Like we see the name and we see the comments. So rising to a higher vibe on our lives here. I want to transition to the intelligence of her and what Sierra just said about Mother Earth. That we need to recalibrate. We need to all come into a peace within ourselves. So what I heard you say was this woman in you who led the goddess warriors and how to move through the fire, how to move through the anger, how to move through the rage. And then I also heard you say you're in your 60s and moving into your 60s with grace. I mean, you are a gorgeous, radiant goddess who takes such
Thank
care of
you.
herself. May we all rise in aging. And I think aging is something people don't talk about. I mean, I'm 56 and I feel like I feel timeless. I feel
Yes,
fantastic.
there you
Um,
go.
I would love to dovetail for you to talk about the intelligence of her and how this birthed and what your work is.
Sure. My work has always been teaching women how to be women, their feminine intelligence, and what is that worth, and then how does that work in our society? Because we've become more like imitation men. We've had to cut off our femininity in order to survive. So what I'm helping women do is say, no, 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 you need to reclaim those pieces back. So most of us, 1 out of 3, come from some form of sexual assault and abuse before the age of 18, mostly women in the United States. Okay. We're not talking about the world and everything else that's going on because that's just as horrific. But come on, we supposedly live in the most wealthiest country, supposedly most evolved, but we have such a high rate of sexual assault and abuse. And as you're seeing, it's all coming up. Now, I brought this up 30 years ago. People didn't want to hear it. They didn't care through universities, through many organizations. They could care less. And you know why? Because the whole self-help movement to a certain extent was is 99% of the people who were coming to do all this were women wanting to learn more.
And look
Wanting
at and I totally just interrupted you, but the hashtag Me Too disappeared. It came up briefly and disappeared. I do want to keep in
because
mind
there's no
that,
plan. There was
right.
no plan of action.
And I want to address that in case I have a lot of people who are younger who do follow me, but
Mhm.
but to encourage young people to stand in those boundaries, no means no, right? Like no means no. And to report
Two
any
letters.
younger, older, boundaries, like learning how to set boundaries and watch when the boundaries in relationships in anything are not met, to watch who leans in, watch who doesn't listen, and surround yourself with people who are going to honor your boundaries, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No is a full sentence. And the more you explain your no, the more you demean yourself. You should never have to defend the no.
Mhm.
So that's what most women would do.
Mhm.
Oh, well, I can't come because of the kids and blah, 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 blah,
No
blah.
stories needed.
And then
No
say
stories
too
needed.
much
No,
information. No, I'm sorry,
no,
I can't come. Let's
can't
rebook.
make.
Or you know what? Maybe someone doesn't respect your no, then you do it through body language and you do it through your tone of voice. Even get deeper. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with like using that grr in your voice and your body language to say, back up, buddy, or
I was
whomever.
right there with you. I was right there with you.
So
So
that
everyone
you
listening,
have
if
you
you
have to
are
be
younger,
fully present.
that's it. Younger, older, set boundaries, say no. And when your no isn't honored, you either can report it if it has to do with rape and sexual assault. I was the first woman to press charges for rape at
That's
Rice
yes.
University in Houston, Texas, on campus. I went through the university court system.
I remember.
100 cases came out after that. And I want to pull out a story of the rape and sexual assault, but I do know that I have a lot of young people following, and stand in your power, stand in your boundaries. And someone said a great thing to me, Sierra, too. And I want to say this for younger people. This could save decades of your life. Think about the words fall in love. Boy, they should be teaching about gaslighting, narcissism, psychology in elementary school, right? Like, save decades of your life. May we, and I'd love to dovetail to intelligence of her with this framework. Someone said to me that we need to get clear on what we want to attract personally, professionally. And you know what, everybody? Get clear, because otherwise you will fall in love. And may we rise in love, both in work and our relationships, by getting clear on what we want. Because once you fall, it could take you 10 years to get on out. So I hope that maybe this show saves somebody 10 years, that you deserve
Yeah,
watch Sierra.
right.
We all deserve the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
And the moment that starts chiseling away, we need to step out and move on.
Well, you hit a good point. I don't think most of us know what we want. And why is because of abuse. Or why is because we're taught we have to settle. Or why is because we've been taught to shrink. We're not allowed to have more. Or maybe we see our parents or people around us, and if we want more, the tribal energy pulls you back in, which is the addictive patterns of the abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental, as we know. So a lot of it, I know for me, and I'm sure, and I would see this in a lot of my clients, as soon as I'd reach the next level of like, wow, I'm coming out of this, and I feel alive and vital and I feel really good, I would sabotage it, because there's a part of me from the trauma or from my past. If I become larger than them, then they're not going to love me anymore. If I judge them, then I'm not going to feel loved. If I stop performing for them, then I'm not going to be loved. And this is what I feel women have dealt with. This is the about the intelligence of her and the emotional
Yes.
intelligence.
Yes.
About
And,
this
and,
is
and before we dovetail into that, and I have a feeling the intelligence of her, you said the key thing out of what I had shared there, um, which was, how can people begin to get clear on what they want to attract? So flipping the script from I've been abused to what do I want a healthy relationship to look like? Everyone know that whatever trauma we've been through is the teacher, right? I
correct.
made some bad choices since my divorce, and those bad choices were the teachers to show me what I didn't deserve and what I want to
Right.
create.
The hard part is recognizing it right away, the three red flags, instead of making excuses for people's behaviors. Because that's what we do,
Yes,
especially as
go
women.
there.
Not just
Talk about
women,
that.
men too. Not just, but most of the time, women fall in love with the potential, or they make excuses for other people's behavior because they think that that's what love is. And I'm sorry, love is not. And as God said to me when I passed over, which hit me so hard, was, Sierra, love isn't just an emotion. It's the most powerful force in the universe, grounded by action and responsibility. Where are you not loving you? And then that's when I was asked the 4 questions that created the 4 Body Fit method, which was spiritually, when and why did you disconnect from the source of my love, God's love? And I remember as a child, you're curious, you're asking questions. How does God make butterflies? I mean, like, how does the world, you have these conversations because innocence has no fear. And you have this intuition that, wow, I'm so connected. And and you
Innocence,
have
innocence has no fear. That's so
innocence has no
powerful.
fear. And so that's why it's just so pure. And we lose that. And then mentally, what were the belief systems from your religion, your culture? society, your family that taught you that you're not worthy of my love. And I'm like, oh, I remember my first day of confession when the priest told me I don't know how to speak to God by myself. And I said, what are you talking about? If God is everywhere and everything, what do I need you for? This is the mouth I was born with. Jersey girl, Italian, smart. And so that truth, I didn't realize is my gift, but I was always told to tone it down or turn it off and I'm like, no, that I no. And I would fight all the time with my parents and people around me because I always understood the abuse of power. I always got that, especially coming from abuse. You have radar. That's a manipulator, that's a predator, that's abuse of power because your body already knows it, right? So whenever I would see it or feel it, I would always confront it. That was the warrior part of me, even going up against law and creating a law in New Jersey because I was sexually assaulted by a doctor, which created the law that a third party needs to be present in a doctor's office. Like it kept coming at me. And I'm like, do I wear a sign on my back that says use me and abuse me or something? I don't understand. Until I got older, I realized that my truth was my power, was my gift, was my medicine. God is priming me for something bigger because I don't have the fear. I don't have the fear. And and I was I and that's something that you're born with, but at the same time you're taught that. So I was taught through abuse. Sad to say, abuse
So,
of power.
I want to jump in here that so much of your pain became your greatest teacher. So,
Oh yeah.
let's evolve into this diva, goddess, amazing woman, and right here live with us. As you are 60 and alive and thriving, and what is the how did the intelligence of her is an evolution of the all the abuse, the trauma, the
Yeah.
almost your life, your father being murdered, working with the fire of women and through their rage, and now you are transitioning to this new chapter of awakening, and it feels softer, like it feels like a softer chapter with the intelligence of her. Or tell me what is the shift that's happening inside of you, and tell me about the work, and everybody who's listening, and everyone, thank you for
Good.
being with us, and
Yeah,
if you
thank
watch
you.
later and you're not here on the live now, thank you for being present with us. We'll go, we're 37 minutes in. We'll close at an hour. I think we're in flow here.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
we'll be done with it under an hour. So Sierra, please talk about the evolution of the intelligence of her.
Sure. So when I first started, again, it was the goddess and the warrior. So I had to cut off my femininity in order to survive. And that was one of my awakenings, is claiming those pieces back, which is actually called a retrieval, a soul retrieval in indigenous ways, because I work a lot with indigenous cultures and I am Taino Indian. And that's what saved my life. So basically, I had to reclaim my own femininity, and I didn't know what that was because to me, feminine was being weak. To me, feminine, I didn't have mentors that were strong as women. What did we have? Charlie's Angels, for God's sakes, and Wonder Woman growing up? Like, who? So I was like, I went out searching for that. I want to find powerful women, but I had to redefine what power meant as a woman. So I thought I was so tough and rough and Jersey girl, successful. I had all my clients, American Express, Revlon. I was so successful at the age of 32 because I was driven. I was warrior. I was like, don't get in my way. I will take you down. Jersey girl, New York minute. You grew up there, and so it was like nonstop.
Yeah, I'm a
But
native New Yorker.
yes, exactly. So you grow up that way, and I'm glad I grew up street smart. But I had to cut off my femininity, being an Italian family, also and the disrespect of the divine feminine. So growing up, it's like, well, why would I want to be in my feminine energy if it's used and abused all around me? So
Yeah.
didn't feel safe and coming from sexual assault and abuse. So the goddess came in after my near death experience, and I went to Hebrew school because my husband at the time was Jewish, and I loved Hebrew school. I love I love my religion. I love all religions, but there was always something missing for me because I'm a researcher, right? So it's like, nah, there's more. There's something missing here, and so that's where I found the goddess. Actually, was in Hebrew school, and the first goddess I learned about was Lilith, and I was like, wow, well, how come we didn't learn this? You
Yeah,
know.
tell me about Lilith. Tell me a moment about, and then the transition to the intelligence of her.
So
Yes.
this is how she first came to me.
And just so you know, we have about
So
10, 15 more minutes.
yeah. Okay. So she came to me through my near death experience and showing me and told me, and God told me to lay down on the ground for 4 days, and I didn't know what that meant. So I ended up getting my car. I drive to Arizona and do the Four Corners. I end up laying down on the ground for 4 days next to a river by myself. And the point of laying down on the ground was is all the trauma I went through from my abuse and an athlete abusing my body all the time, being abused, and then what I went through with the topic pregnancy, my uterus rupturing. It was laying on the ground. The electromagnetic field was literally, I felt like she was taking that all away. I had to be still. I had to be silent. I had to connect. I had to be present for it. And I never was because I was always running away from my pain, trying to prove my worthiness by how smart I am, how much I could do, how beautiful I am. And it
Stillness. She
burns,
said the key, and I did a
burns you
live.
out.
I did a live this morning on it. It's in the stillness that transformation and healing will happen.
Correct.
Only then only then the real quiet.
Correct. So it's not that women can't be productive. We have to be more creative, not so much productive. So it's like, okay, I'm tapping in. And that's what I learned, the difference of don't burn out. Because this whole boss babe is burnout. It's just you as a woman saying, oh, I want to be independent. Yeah, of course. But at what cost? Your health, your family, your well being? That's not success. That's not being feminine. Again, you had to cut off your femininity. And this is what I saw the addiction with all women was okay, how are these women dealing with their trauma, their pain? Workaholic, alcoholic, wino, Xanax, depression, you know, pick your drug. That's what I saw. And I don't care how successful you were. And most of these women are very successful and they don't come from the projects. They can afford, but they don't want to invest a lot of them in themselves to do the deeper work
So
because
let's move to the intelligence of her. Let's move to how that where you are with it now, because
so
I'm
that's
hearing I'm here, and Sierra just said, I want to jump in here. Sierra just said something really key, and it's where I'm at with clients. Like, unless people are ready to do the work, you just said it. You know, whether people have money or don't have money isn't even the issue. It's,
no,
are
it's
people
not
ready
the
to
issue.
do the work, to have the inner transformation, to change your life, to pull out of the trauma and the stories that no longer serve you and rise to a higher vibration and paint the canvas for the life that's calling you? So I want you all to know that Sierra works with clients, and she's going to be talking about the intelligence of her. I'm gonna focus this in so we wrap up in about 10 minutes, Sierra.
Thank
And
you for pulling in.
I want to make sure that everyone who jumps on now or later knows that this incredible woman, like, if you're listening and you are ready to do the work, you got to hear what she's saying, because it's what I've been saying on all my lives. Like, people got to be ready to do the work.
You have to be.
Please consider working with Sierra. She's going to share her contact at the end of this live.
Thank you.
And please share about intelligence of her. Please consider working with Sierra Bender. If you are ready to let go of the story, if you are ready to let go of the trauma that no longer serves you, this woman has the tools and the ability to pull you through the fire to the other side so you can live the life that's calling your soul. Woo!
Oh, as you, my dear, as you. So how the intelligence of her came is two
Thank you for
different.
loving. By the way, someone said loving the stream. I want to acknowledge everyone who's watching now
Oh,
or
good
later.
job, love it. Thank you.
Thank you for loving the stream, and we'll keep flowing. We'll wrap in about 10 minutes, everybody. This is Sierra Bender. She's in New Mexico and Santa Fe. And I'm Tanya Vandenhouten. Welcome to my first live YouTube podcast. I'm sitting in Pendleton, Oregon. Sierra's going to
Uh,
talk about the
Tanya, you're really
birthing.
good at this, Tanya. Your journalism's coming out.
Oh, I'm going to lock us in because we got 10 minutes. I don't want people sitting here for 3 hours.
Okay, okay.
The
So
intelligence of
the
her. Bring us
intelligence
there.
of her is all of that I discussed, from the transformation of the goddess warrior, all the things that I have done around the world with all of this and all of the research that I've done. The scary part of it is, okay, so this is part of my ego, but this is part of women, of understanding how systems work. Many of the systems, meaning intellectual systems, did not take what I was doing seriously, even though it was clinically proven by Harvard Law and American University Department of Psychology. You know why?
Why?
Just guess, girls, guess. Just guess. Why
I
was it
mean,
not?
Sierra even had data that was proven that she could move people through trauma from Harvard. So let's go, Sierra.
Harvard Law School.
You
Harvard
got to
Law
bring us
School.
bring us to intelligence of her.
So here it is. The word goddess was never taken seriously. However, I had to make the choice. Exactly. What exactly, Heidi? Because it works. Because it works.
Thank
So
you, Heidi. Yeah.
I was like, I had to make the decision of, who am I trying to please? Who am I really trying to help? Am I
Mm.
trying to help women like myself? Because I'm in my heart and this is my purpose? Or am I trying to please the systems that are actually abusing and using them? So, typical Jersey, New Yorker girls, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. So I was like, no, the alignment of the integrity of, it's not even mine to sell. It's a gift that creator gave me to help other women. And I'm going to stay in alignment with that. And that's why it became so successful. And boy, was I getting, my boot camp for goddesses, goddess to the core, goddess in the bedroom, all of those. And
What's the name of your book again for anyone listening?
goddess to the core, goddess to the core. So it is
Where
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 my,
can, where can they get it? Where can they get Goddess to the Core?
I'll give you you can go on my website and get a personally
What is
signed
what is your
copy.
website? What is your website?
Sierrabender.com.
SierraBender.com.
So
If
I
you want
have,
to stay locked in with this amazing lady,
so I only have like
SierraBender.com.
80 copies left of the original book. So yes. So anyway, I was really upset about that, and it was kind of a betrayal. So I said, you know what? All of my work has always been about balance. The masculine and feminine is what I teach, right? The goddess and the warrior, masculine, feminine, above, below, always balance. The same thing with Mother Earth. She's wild, she's compassionate, she's fierce, she'll kick your
Mm.
butt, right? So we are a reflection of her, and that's why we're so powerful and beautiful. So I just changed it to the intelligence of her, because that's what I teach, feminine intelligence, an
Mm.
intelligence of her, masculine, feminine. Always in anything I teach, you will see that oxymoron of both words, of both energies. And that's why it works. And this is what I've always taught women. So now, doesn't that sound a little bit more intellectual and more evolved for systems to now pay attention? Because that's where I'm going next.
Well, and I
The
heard you
balance.
say honoring the balance, and we have
Honoring the balance.
we have both those energies, right?
Right.
Um,
But
please,
confronting.
please share, because I'm going to be wrapping up here in the next 5. I want to honor time. I want to first of all thank you for coming on. And Sierra said some really, really important pieces about the need for realignment when she was talking about Mother Earth. She said a line, you said a line that really sat with me, that innocence has no fear. And how do we return to that innocence? And before we close out, I also want to ask you about aging with celebration, aging with grace. I'm 56. You shared your 60 something, and you know what, everybody, she inspired
62.
me. She did a fashion show in Santa Fe, and now I'm top 20 in the next runway star
There you
because
go.
she inspired me that we are evolving. It is not too late to rise up. We are waking up, and whether you are 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 100, may we keep on dancing. May we keep on shining. May we keep on aging with grace. What's your
Yes.
message to men and women about the aging process?
Everyone would ask me if I saw when you see photos of me when I'm younger and now, I look better now because I've healed my trauma. I've healed my stuff. It's not that it's never going to end. I just feel spirit is the reason. It's emanating to me and through me. It's the same thing with beauty, right? It's like who doesn't want to look beautiful? There's
Right,
many
look,
things.
Look what Heidi just wrote. Look what Heidi just wrote.
I'm 63 and I'm in the best shape ever. Yeah. Because
Right?
there's a
Woo!
freedom to it. There's a
Go
freedom.
Heidi. Go Heidi. I wanted to
That's
acknowledge
right.
Heidi.
Because there's freedom. Once you understand the cost of freedom, freedom is not free, right? You got to go through the pain, then you feel the freedom. Then you
Yes.
kind of understand how to ride the wave of life. Like, okay, I'm getting hit right now.
Like
Everything's
navigate. I love getting
everything's temporary.
because we're learning
Everything's
to
temporary.
navigate. We're learning how to navigate the emotional
Just-
roller coaster, right? And we
Yeah.
heighten emotional intelligence because as we move through the trauma and we learn the lessons from the trauma, if we are awake, so I invite you all to get awake to make sure you see that every day that there's a barrier, the barrier is the opportunity to grow. It's not a barrier.
If we
It's the
really,
growth.
that's true. And if we really listen to what our body is telling us, not our head, our
Yes.
body is telling us, it'll never judge. It will always tell you the truth. So it's like, okay, the first
Rest
question
when
I
it needs to
ask,
rest. Yeah, rest when
mad,
it
sad,
needs
or
to.
glad. When people say hi, I'll say, how do you feel? Where do you feel? The head gets in the way. 5-year-old can answer this. Mad, sad, or glad. Which one?
Mm.
This is how mad, sad, or glad. And then they're like sad, and I'm like, oh, now they're in it. Okay, tell me about the sadness. Boom. The body says, I'm ready to throw up on you right now and tell you the whole story because you got it. You validate it. But our head gets in the way, the itty bitty shitty committee, I call it. And so this is how I work my method. And that's why people heal so quickly. And cellular memory trauma is like an elastic band. It's always want to goes back to what it knows. So how are
Yeah,
you going to
because
create
the
the
ego wants
space?
us stuck there. The ego wants us stuck in that trauma, right? So we got to cut the cord.
Yeah. So being an athlete, understanding cellular memory works in two ways: practice, repetition, so your body memorizes it. I know how to pitch. I was a softball pitcher, 90 miles an hour. Boom, simple. I know how this works. My hip goes here, this goes there, this basketball, whatever it may be. Athletic wise, is practice. So the body just memorizes the movements. Now, when you do it with trauma, it's the opposite. I need to erase that. I need to erase that pattern, and how I'm going to erase that pattern is the same thing like an athlete. I need you to get on the floor and give me 10 breaths, big breaths. And
Get
I'm
it out of the body. Get
right.
it out of the
And,
body.
and hold you accountable to do that. Not get lazy, but do it. So that personal trainer in me always comes out like, I'm holding you
Yeah.
accountable to love yourself. I'm
And
not doing work for you.
I'm going to jump in because we're going to wrap up in about 3 minutes. And I want to honor Sierra and thank you for your passion, your commitment to holding space. Sierra walks people through the fire because when you're ready to do the work, you got to go through the fire. You got to do the work. And what can you please share about your website again? How people can reach out to you? Are you working with clients now? Are you able to travel and do public speaking? Or what all are you offering that you
Sure.
can close this show out with?
Thank you for that. My website is my name, Sierra, Sierra, Bender, Bender. Thanks, Heidi. So good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Um, Right now, you can go to that my website, and I took a nice break from healing myself and going through what I was going through. So now I'm lifting up an online 6-week course on my method that'll be coming out shortly. So you can go on my website and join my email list if you want and know when that's coming out. You could also do the free Femme Intel 4 Body Fit quiz that'll be on my website shortly. So this timing is perfect, Tanya, because it's gonna all
Good.
be
Let's
lifted.
launch you. Let's launch you.
All gonna be launched.
SierraBender.com, right? Is it .com? All right.
SierraBender.com. My book is
Everybody, SierraBender.com. You got to go there. You got to check her out. Check out what she's
yeah.
offering. Go to
I have
SierraBender.com.
what else? So I have the Peru expeditions as always. I've been doing that for over 25 years where I bring you to my actual shamans that I worked with over the years and my teachers, which is exciting. And I will soon be coming out with certifications again for my method. So those of you who are in the healing business and want more tools for your clients for one-on-ones or running retreats or what have you, that'll be coming out within the year also. So there's a lot. It's all happening now.
What's the name of the certification coming up?
It'll be there's this 6-week online program for Body Fit, and then the certification program will come out secondary. So that course that you take, the online 6 weeks, will go towards credit towards your certification. So that's a master training. Well, basically, you could use my research. You could use the method to measure your own clients or groups. So at the end of the day, it's really about bringing all that research in, more research to prove how my method, it's not just about me teaching the method. Many teachers have taught this. It's you using your own medicine, your own God-given gift, but you're having a method that could help you measure your clients so that they could see their growth, which is so profound because
The
people
pre and
go, "Well,
post assessment data.
yes, like how do you measure your spiritual body? How do you?" So everyone talks about the 4 bodies, but I came out with the 4 bodies in 1995, right after my near death experience. Many people have taken it, intellectual property information, talk about it, but they really don't understand what it is. It's just words. So
Yeah.
I can own that because it is trademarked. And so if you really want to know where it came from and how it works, then you're going to the true
Sierra,
source.
SierraBender.com. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Sierra, let's take a breath together, soul sister.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for listening. I hope something shifted within you that you can come closer to your own expression of your authentic self and creator. And we have been blessed to use my voice again to do this, because especially after I couldn't talk for a year and a half, basically, from my surgery. So this has been a blessing for me because it's the first time I really came out to speak. But if you want to hear more, I've been teaching more on Instagram, Sierra Bender, Facebook.
Follow this amazing woman.
Follow
Is it Sierra Bender Empowerment or just Sierra Bender?
Sierra Bender, just
Sierra
Sierra
Bender.
Bender IG, yeah, for Instagram, Sierra Bender for Facebook, yes. So
Well, I,
giving
I
little
want
tidbits of information, of healing, of coaching on
and I want to close out by saying thank you. Wait, thank you. Wait, let's see if we can high five. Can we high five each other? Energetic high five. Oh. Wait, I gotta turn my hand. Hey, there it is. In New York, New Jersey. We did it. Thank you all if you've been watching now or you come on later. Thank you for watching my first interview with my amazing goddess soul sister, Sierra Bender.
Thank
I'm
you,
from New York
Tanya.
City. She's in New Jersey. She's in New Mexico and Santa Fe. I'm in Pendleton, Oregon. Life is a journey. You never know where we're all going. But we all came together for this moment together. And Sierra, I want to mention to everyone, jot on your calendars, July 24th, 2027, I'm launching the first international Choose Peace gathering.
I
I don't
know.
know where
I've
it's
already
going to
put
be.
down in my calendar. I'm there. I'm there.
You're, Everybody, I want to get off these phones. And listen, I have no idea what seed I'm planning, but I know I manifest when I talk about it. It's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be in Africa, Hong Kong, Alabama. All I know is that July 24th, 2027, I'm inviting you all to this.
Alabama.
Well, I on a YouTube live the other day.
Sounds
Well,
bad.
here's Birmingham came up. He's going to hold the first Choose Peace Circle share of my book in Birmingham, Alabama. He was watching my
Wow.
YouTube live, so we might be in Birmingham.
I love it. We have a gentleman here, Jim.
Oh, hello there. Hello.
Yeah.
Well,
Still
I am
hanging
so
on.
thank you. And thank you, Heidi. She says, love you, Sierra, hugs and blessings.
Yeah.
And Heidi, it was great to meet you. And thank you everyone for joining.
It's
Sierra, you are
it's
pure light. You are
yeah.
radiant. Um,
I just want to say hi, Eric. Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. And hopefully we walked away with something, right? I planted a seed.
Stay in touch, sierrabender.com, and find her on social. And honor to all of you. And we're going to end the live. Do you have a closing sentence?
You are the 21st century goddess. You are feminine. You are sensual. You are sexual. You are powerful. Don't let anyone ever mistake your kindness for weakness or ever take you for granted. So that's the goddess to the core mantra. And who?
Oh,
As you
let's do
stand
it.
in your goddess.
Let's do it. Come on, inhale up. Ha!
Who?
Rise up, everyone. Bye.
Bye.